do with all the
with
money
all the
hoarding.
money and stuff. Yeah.
So I got back, and then I did that for a little bit, a couple of months, and then I ended up downloading Grindr. Because I'm like, just talking to guys. It can't be that. Just talking. I went on a date with someone because at this point I got to the point where I'm like,
were you out at this point?
No,
like,
okay,
right. Yeah.
So that's a whole other story.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just sort of. I knew I wanted to experience this side of my life because everything else was going wrong. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should try this and see if it goes right.
Yeah.
And it's something I'd felt for so long, my whole life, as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And so I went on a date with someone, lovely guy.
Yeah.
And it was the most awkward thing ever because not only had I never been on a real date, it was with a guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I ended up booking tickets to go to New Zealand with myself. I thought, I'm going to go on a solo holiday. And so I went over there and I met this guy and I lost my V-plates in a rooftop tent.
Oh, classy.
On top of a Corolla.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that was an experience. And he ended up coming with me for the rest of the trip. This was the second night.
Yeah.
And so and then during that process, I ended up being outed on social media.
Oh, right.
And so that all started coming out, and they made a big post about it and just explained it and that type of thing. Anyway, fast forward, he had a lot of mental health problems, so he ended up having to go back to New Zealand to get help.
Okay.
And so back to single again, and then a little while later I met my now fiance, and he helped me grow and start healing in ways that I never thought I would.
That's so good.
But that's pretty much my story. Is I left the church one day after I came back from New Zealand and I was out. Yeah. They threatened, my bishop pulled me in and threatened to excommunicate me.
Really?
He said, look, you're going to have to go in front of the panel. And
just for having sex?
Yeah.
Shit. I was threatened with that too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
I had to tell
God.
them how many times it had happened, and if it was over a certain number of time, I had to go and be
Is that like
judged.
in the bishop's handbook? It's like, if you've had sex more than 5 times, you're
I think
next.
part of it goes, a lot of it goes back to, especially if you've been through the temple, a lot of it goes back to the stake presidency as well.
Yeah. Everybody knows.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And my dad was on the stake presidency at the time.
There's no confidentiality, and then when bishops get changed over and stuff, I'm pretty sure the old bishop tells the new bishop everything. So then
They have to have a heads up on
all of the leaders know all of your deepest, darkest secrets.
And then the wives hear it, and then the wives talk, and then it just spreads like wildfire. So there was one day where I was just so upset about that that I walked out. I said, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I walked out and never went back.
You're like, you can't fire me, I quit. Never turn back.
Pretty much. And it's actually to the point now, years later, I've got a new therapist now, and we're starting to go through some of these traumas.
Yeah.
And I've actually come to the conclusion that I am going to have my records removed.
Okay.
I've got to tell my father about this. Just so he's not surprised. But that's the point where I'm at now. My whole life has led up to this journey, and I'm getting to the point where I'm ready to, separate myself from that, learn from the trauma, and start healing from it better than I had. So that's my story. That's what happens when you come out in the church.
Yeah. God damn.
So this is sort of where it ties us all together. As we're sort of running out of time, as we go through these episodes and we get the hang of podcasting, it will get more and more enthusiastic and more enthralling.
Yes.
Especially as we cover things like the law of chastity and the word of wisdom.
Yeah.
So excited.
But we're glad you could join us today, and we're glad that you're able to listen to us and listen to our stories as we go along. As we do progress, we'll be able to post different ways to get in contact with us. We'd love to hear from you and your story, and eventually, as we start to get to the point, hopefully have a few guests on as well.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, so please share with your friends, give us a like, and subscribe, and we hope we can see you next time. Now, are there any closing remarks, sisters?
No, I don't have anything.
None from me. I feel like this is going to be
a really good start.
Yeah, I feel like this could be a tough journey with some of the conversations that we're going to bring up, but I do get the feeling that this is going to be very healing to have that open discussion in a safe place for us, even for our listeners out there who may not be out of the Mormon closet, but for anyone listening, we are just happy to share our stories with you guys.
Thank you, sisters. Well, I'm definitely feeling the spirit now.
Yeah, me too.
We close these things in the name of Joseph Smith. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for listening to Once Upon a Mormon. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you do have any comments or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Please email us at onceuponamormon@gmail.com or reach out to us on Facebook at Once Upon a Mormon. Episodes are released weekly. We aim to release them on a Sunday, so we hope you can join us next week for a new episode. Thanks again for listening.